What's going on, Capricorn? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be business, Capricorn, and all the ways that we can expand your abundance. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. I'll put you, we'll run out of space. Gems. Feeling lovely. Just good energy all around here, Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, with this spread, I'm going to be going until higher self says stop. We're just going with the flow here. And just so you're all aware, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. We're just working with the energy. So just apply these energies to people as they make sense in your situation, okay? More. And then in case y'all were curious, the decks that I'm using. This one I'm shuffling, it's an OG deck. It's Aleister Crowley's Stealth deck. And I'll include links for these decks and other decks that I like using down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested there, Cap. But let's start getting into your reading here. Because I feel like that with kind of starting off here, you know, I feel like that maybe we're in this place right now where if you may have like a bunch of ideas that you got cooking up right now, Capricorn. You know, maybe this is something where maybe we're thinking about, this could be a number of things. You know, maybe we're thinking about possibly starting up a business. You know, maybe we're thinking about possibly expanding on our existing business. You know, maybe we're even thinking too, you know, if we're working for a place, you know, maybe we're possibly even thinking about maybe either leveling up there, you know, maybe becoming like a supervisor, manager, CEO, you know, think big, Cap. But, you know, or we may be thinking all together. Maybe we're possibly doing a career shift, you know, but regardless of what's going on here, Capricorn, you know, I do feel like that maybe this is something where maybe like our attention might be kind of split all over the place. You know, maybe we haven't been feeling maybe like not nearly as focused as of late, or maybe this is something too, you know, maybe this is where we've been in our head so much maybe with this idea that maybe it's keeping us from even like making a step forward here, or maybe that could be something, or it could even be too, just a whole number of things. Even I feel even like as I'm working through this, Capricorn, it's just I feel like that might be where you are. It's just like it could be this, or it could be that, or it could be this, it could be that, blah blah blah, and it's just like I feel like we might need to take a moment, just kind of zen out for a second, just kind of pause. And if we have a bunch of good ideas, figure out what's that main one. You know, like let's just start with one. You know, if we find ourselves like we got a bunch of stuff cooking up, just get a focus. You know, I feel like that's what the Ace of Swords is calling on us to do right now. You know, and that's not to say that you're not going to pick up these other things, Capricorn. It could be something too where maybe it's like we got to start one thing in order to get to another thing. You know, like they may all kind of piece together, but we just need to find out what makes the most sense for you where you're at on this journey. And then take that and, you know, and take action, you know, start going on that thing. Because here's the thing with, if we're in our head like that, it gets to this place of where, you see, I'm trying to analyze this stuff. No cards are getting pulled. You know, we're so focused here that just like, you know, no action is started. We have all because this to me almost says like that you have all the answers that I feel like you may need, Capricorn, but it's just like maybe and not that I'm saying that you're afraid, but this could be, you might be, maybe we're afraid of moving, of making this next step, or you know, whatever this is, Capricorn. You know, I feel like that it's, if we're thinking, and you know, here's another thing, you know, if we're thinking that maybe if we're missing on resource, you know, it's like, man, if only I had X, Y, and Z, then I'd be able to kick this off. maybe instead of worrying about what you're missing, Capricorn, maybe focus on what you're working with, because the thing with like these ideas and stuff is that they can be a double-edged sword. It's like where it's a good idea, but if we analyze it too, if we overanalyze it, then we find our ways to talk ourselves out of it, that sometimes, and then we have like dreams unrealized, and then we get into the place later down the line where we might possibly regret, and then it just becomes a whole thing, Capricorn. But I feel like that this is something where focus on what you do have, and then see where we can expand from there, because maybe if we're starting a business, for example, we need a space, maybe we don't have the resources to buy out a space. Maybe we can start at home, or maybe this is something, maybe we can partner up with someone, and maybe this is like, maybe we can combine something, maybe do something along those lines, Capricorn. But I feel like that this is something where that I feel like, don't try not to overthink this, not to let it deter you from taking action. Sometimes too, Capricorn, I find that when we do just take that first step, all the clarity comes to us, It could just be a matter of, when we're staying in the energy too long, like thinking about it too long, it can get nice. It can get to where, where was I going to go with that? I got so caught up in your fortune here. But, wait, it'll come back to me if it was important, Capricorn. But here's the thing. Because now we're starting to get with this fortune card. Now I feel like we're starting to get a little broader here. Because maybe this is why we're overthinking here. And Aquarius had something, not quite the overthinking thing, but they got the Wheel of Fortune too. And I feel like that this is a time, I'm kind of like this, since I've been kind of changing up the schedules. I've been doing the signs. This first go around, I'm recording them with because each, how I have it set up, it's like the days that it falls is your ruler's day. So Saturn rules Saturday, so hence why you're on Saturdays. But I feel like that, I'm all that to say is that when I'm thinking that Aquarius getting the fortune card, I think you're the only two that got it. That I feel like Saturn is getting ready to reward us. I feel like that there's something that's coming up on the horizon here. This Ace of Swords, I feel like that we may want to start. I know I was going to say earlier. I feel like we need to start really taking action on this stuff. Because when we start getting about things like destiny and fortune, that's going to come with experience. This is like our what we figure out for our journey, because it constantly changes. Think about what you started as a child, your dreams then, what you thought was your Wheel of Fortune then has changed into where you're at now. But now that but just because we're in like an adult, we're an adult now, I feel like that sometimes we let practicality and, and overthinking stuff diminish the size and the creativity of our destiny, when we overthink stuff. And I feel like that if you just got this ball rolling, what I was going to say earlier, you just got that ball rolling, I feel like that understanding and all these pieces that, that might not make sense at the moment are all going to come together here. And then this realization of what your destiny, what your calling is, what your purpose, I feel like it's all going to come to start piecing together here. And this may be something too, Capricorn, that maybe because we've been thinking so much that we've neglected what our heart wants as well. Because here's the thing too, you're a very hard-working sign, and I feel like you're very practical. And of the cardinal signs, Capricorn works really well and the cardinal signs are you, Aries, Libra, and Cancer. Of the initiators, that's what cardinals are. You're most rooted in this material realm. And I feel like that because of that, and hear me out, I have no problems with money. Make it rain, Cap. But I do think that with your energy, it's more than that. It's about thinking more so, not just from a stability standpoint, thinking about it from like a financial stability standpoint, because where we're thinking with the earth signs, when I was talking with Virgo and Taurus, I feel like that the earth signs energies of just, and this is just, I feel like more so with society has just geared it so more so just because you are more connected than the rest of the elements. It's like that's become like your guiding star as opposed to your dream, this, and then letting the abundance come from that, your stability and all of that. And so I feel like that when we're thinking about this, don't ignore what your heart is telling you too, because it's one thing to know like, okay, this is the most practical approach right now, but is this resonating with you? Because it may be, because it's this not even saying that I'm questioning like your calling is if that's right. It's more so that if, again, I'm all for practicality, but are we enjoying this experience as well? And if we're not, how do we find that balance? You don't have to compensate stability for fulfillment. You know what I mean? We can have both. And if you're doing what you love, but it's still not quite resonating with you, then maybe it's the method that you're doing. Let's say, for example, if you're I don't know, I'm looking at this chariot, I'm thinking a professional driver, maybe you're like a Lyft driver, and let's say you started that, you love driving, but maybe it's like Lyft, where it's paying your bills, it's doing that along. It's like, it's not quite enough. Maybe you've wanted to be like a race car driver, or maybe you wanted to be, and I know like, Justin, that sounds insane. Psh, this is your destiny. This is not your destiny. Is that what you think your dream is, Capricorn? Insane? Because if it is, then do it. Because that means that no one else is doing it. And then when you accomplish that, I feel like you're going to really surprise yourself. And then that's going to make it so that when you get into that thing, more opportunities come up. Because who knows, maybe you start off, you went from Lyft driver to NASCAR driver to maybe you're owning your own dealership. Who knows, Capricorn? But it's what happens is when we follow that, when we follow that heat, when we follow that passion, that thing that really fuels us, that's when the results start kicking in. That's when the money starts raining in, and the abundance and all that fulfillment starts coming in. But if we're just, because here's the thing, you would think like, well, duh, Justin, of course I'm going to go towards my Wheel of Fortune and my happiness, but take it, and this is a judgment-free zone here. And listen, I've been there too. It's like, but think about how often we, as a soul tribe, put our energies into things that don't resonate with us, that are not raising our vibrations. Like just kind of check in with your life. If there are any things like that, and then maybe make some adjustments, and then watch, as those adjustments start happening, that's when the Wheel of Fortune starts turning, and really starts aligning with us. And here's the thing too, Capricorn. When we think about the Wheel of Fortune, this is all about cycles. This is about where are you at in different stages of our lives. There are going to be some times when we're on top of the world here, and then there are going to be other times when we're not when we got some work that we need to get put in. That grind. We got some growth that needs to be done. But it's how do we operate in these cycles here? How do we expend our energy throughout this, through these changes? How does this adapt? Because here's the thing, I'm thinking about the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius, and how funny, the Knight of Wands Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and that all to say is that I feel like that there's that connection here, Cap, is that if we find out how to expend our energies throughout these cycles here, it just makes the journey just that much easier, because now we're not working. It's like imagine that up until this point, if we've been thinking about this and we've realized that maybe we've been pouring our energies into stuff. It's like you've been going up the down escalator. We're just working against stuff when we should just be going with the flow here. We don't have to work so hard, because you're a hard-working sign. And that's not this, you can still put in all that work, but we can work smart about it. We can be efficient with this energy. And then imagine, once you're pouring that stuff into things that you really want and really that's when Saturn is really, really gonna make it rain for you there, Capricorn, more. But it's being mindful of where we're putting all that amazing earth energy into, because that is something where there is nice. Oh, this is a 6 spread. What's going on? Oh, this is a 6 spread. Okay, because here's the thing. You got so much hard-working energy, and it's going to, when we're thinking about creating our world and what that looks like, we should feel free to, we should have fun while we're doing it. It should be unrestricted, unfettered, where because even if this is, because you can even find this, because I'm not saying that you have to be outside, or like own your own business or something like that to find even this fulfillment. Let me be clear there. You can, if you're in a place, I feel like as long as it's promoting that growth, it's promoting that expansion. Here's now, you thought Sagittarius was just kind of here. Now Sag is here for real. And as long as you're in a place that is promoting, the expansion of you're promoting higher learning, your growth, you're getting the skills that you want. Because here's the thing too, Capricorn, where I'm all for, even like retiring with the place. Like, it's only in the sense that if it's providing like variety, and it's providing that those means for us to create stuff as well. That's another thing too, because we just don't, I feel like we don't want to be in a place where we're just creating, manifesting for others. We want to be able to utilize our own gifts. We have our own unique things to bring to the table here. We want to make sure that those needs are being met as well. So, because I'm not telling you to like quit your job, but if your job is not supporting that, Cap, then it's time to keep it moving, because it's going to affect the way that we feel. It's going to affect our perception of this journey here. We're not going to feel like we're a winner. Someone's going to be winning. It may be the person, but it's going to be a person that's dream that you're fueling and not you, Capricorn. We want to make sure that we're getting the most out of this too. It's a balance. It's reciprocity here. And we can collaborate, and everyone is winning. But it's finding a balance. And sometimes too, because now I'm thinking, if we're in a partnership right now, because you got the King and Queen of Cups came out to play, and I like that. If we're in a partnership right now, I feel like, it's with the Queen of Cups popping up. That's an interesting combo. That's so funny that I was talking about that, fueling someone else's dream. Because here's the thing. The Knight of Cups, he's the type that he loves doing what let's just talk about him first. I think I'm going to talk about them separately. He loves doing what he wants. He's the type that he finds fulfillment. And that's where he's going to, when he finds that thing that resonates with him, despite what, because here's the thing, even when we're achieving our dream, there are going to be hurdles along the way. It's just how it happens. It's all a part of the growth process. But when it's Wheel of Fortune, it doesn't matter, good, bad, good growth, whatever. The Knight of Cups is going to rise up to this thing. The Knight of Cups is like, heck yeah, I'm with it, because it's passion. It's emotional. It's what it resonates. It's vibing with them. And with the Queen of Cups, when we think about this, even when I'm thinking about, because her superpower is that she's impressionable by the energies of other cards, and where that can be a weakness, in the sense that if we, let's say, because I'm more so thinking this is more so like a society, or even like a familial type of upbringing. You know, if we've had this dream, but we felt that we had to stick in one kind of specific lane, you know, or like our family had these expectations, or whatever this is, you know, it's being mindful of what are other people's expectations of you, and what are your expectations of you? What do you want from this journey here? Because it's yours. No one else can live this experience but you, Capricorn. So what do you want to do with it? It's one thing to take what resonates with you and leave the rest with them, because that's what the Queen of Cups does. But it's a whole other thing if we're letting people come in and taking their energy and trying to, you know, assault the Queen of Cups. Get out. That's not how that works. You know, this is what you want to manifest. This is where you see yourself going in, however long. And think too, Capricorn, you know, this is your opposite. You know, this is Cancer's card. Cancer is your opposite side here, you know, and if we're doing things that are opposite to us, you know, that aren't our jam, it's not gonna work. You know, it may, or you know what, you might convince yourself that it's working, but at some point, you know, the universe, it corrects itself if the vibe isn't working. So more, just something to be mindful of. Let's see what else is going on here. You know, I feel like the theme for yours, Capricorn, oh yeah, no kidding, is you're going through a transformation here, especially when we start thinking about things of like our destiny and whatnot. You know, this is not something that this is going to be an ongoing thing, Capricorn. So just settle in, because even, let me give you an example. You know, when for the longest time, you know, I have, and it's not to say that I've given up on it, but, you know, I was going to be a musician, you know, but at the time when I made that decision, you know, looking back, I had only made that decision because at the time I thought that was the only thing that I was good at. And so that's where it did give me some fulfillment, my heart wasn't in the right place. And then when I tried to do it later, it's like it still kind of was like sort of lining up, but it's just like, and then somehow, you know, the universe brought me here. And next thing you knew, it's just like going through a transformation, you know, maybe that thing. And that's to say too, Capricorn, and listen, that's not for me to say this, like what you've been doing up until now is not your calling. But maybe if things aren't feeling right now, maybe this you've gotten the most out of this situation that you're in right now, and maybe it's time to learn a new skill, or to enhance, or to, you know, to work on another ability, so that these can all kind of piece together, you know, to form this, you know, that masterpiece that is you, Capricorn. But it's going to be something where, you know, it's going to be a transition, and it's going to require some soul searching. You know, this is death cards and situations, the metamorphosis, that process. It's only as uncomfortable as we make it. So we can either resist this thing, or we can jam like the skeleton is. Because look at it, look at it busting a move over here. You know, we're making the most of this, you know, because these situations out of here, they're not just happening to bring us down, you know, even when we're thinking this, because maybe this Ace of Swords is like, maybe we're feeling challenged, you know, that maybe life is taking us in another direction, and we're feeling conflicted about it. Maybe that could be something that's going on too, you know, that I'm thinking even with this like these nights, you know, relax for a second. Don't overthink it, you know. Find out, if anything, if there is something where it's like it's pulling you this way, but it doesn't make any sense. Just explore it, you know, and you don't have to even make it like your main thing right now, you know. Make it maybe make it like a hobby. But if there's something that is pulling you in that if there's something that's pulling you in that direction, Capricorn, it's something to think about, because I feel like that There's an opportunity for higher learning here. There's an opportunity for expansion and an opportunity for abundance, you know. So let's get into some oracle cards here so I can get you out of here and then going out making that abundance and then really thinking about, you know, what it is that you want to do with your energy and on this journey, you know, because that's a big question. Are we keeping those? Okay, more. Alrighty. But yeah, that's a big question. Let's switch back over here, Capricorn. But let's see what we're cooking up here in the, oh, Capricorn. Oh, yeah, you are going through a transformation right now. You got the death card. did you not hear me the first time? Because we're going through it. And some of you are feeling, maybe some of us are feeling a little resistant right now. Because you got the death card in reverse here. So maybe we didn't like the fact that we heard we're going through a transformation. But Capricorn, look what's getting ready to come from this thing. You're getting ready to sprout into a magnificent tree here. You know, you can see it as, you can look at it as, because maybe this is something you've been in this for a while. You've let it like define you. And now that you don't, if you might be afraid that, excuse me, if you don't have this thing, then like, who are we? You know, who am I? You know, what do I do? You know, where's my foundation? And that's something to ask yourself. That's where the soul searching happens. You know, that's how we get the wheel turning. You know, because when we're going against, you know, when we're working against the energies, you know, the wheel's still moving, but it's just like it's not moving as smooth as it could, you know. But once we start doing what we love, start applying some oil, you know, to that wheel, it gets grooving better. You know, we can start enjoying life, because that's something too, Capricorn. Are we enjoying our life right now? You know. And that's not to say, like, I don't think that you don't get out and like celebrate and stuff, but I feel like have we had a moment to celebrate like an accomplishment that we've done in what we're doing, you know? Or has it just been a grind, you know? Have we just been kind of cranking out and nothing really to celebrate, you know? The fact that we got through another day, you know? But if that's where we're at, it's just like, come on, you know, there's more to life than that. You know, it's time to establish a new foundation here and to breathe in some freshness into this Capricorn, because really, you know, and here's the thing too, you know, I was, you know, I think about your ruler, Saturn, and Saturn can be a bit of a hard ass, you know, and Saturn is the type that rewards us over time. You know, this is the type that it's, you know, we got to put in that work, you know, we're going to persevere through stuff. But when we do, and we really, you know, Saturn gives us time to find ourselves, to understand, you know, it puts restrictions and limitations on us because it wants us to grow and to expand. Where Jupiter just blesses us with abundance, you know, Saturn is just like, you can have Saturn's the type, okay, I'm going to put this cake in front of you, but in order to get this cake, you're going to need to fill out X amount of forms, but it's not doing that just to do it. There's a whole point to this. And then when we get to that experience, man, it's worth it. So this is something, that whole thing to say, Capricorn, that I know that this can feel like a lot sometimes. Maybe it feels like throughout life, you know, it might be like 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. But it's all happening. You have the double-edged sword of having Saturn as your ruler, because sure, where things might seem a little tough at first, you know, there may be some restrictions, you know, you may feel like it's like you have to work harder than others. It really does pay off in the end. You know, Saturn does put in that reward when you invest in yourself. And make sure too, you know, just because we're working hard, Capricorn, that doesn't mean that we neglect ourselves, you know, because how are you going to enjoy all that abundance that's coming in if we're exhausted. Like there's, where your energies, I feel like the earth signs might operate from like a work hard, play hard, because I can't tell you how many Capricorns I've met that said I'll sleep when I'm dead and all that. Like, no, make sure that we're resting up. That stuff it's like, and I'm not saying like that you have to get like whatever the standard is, but just make sure that we're listening to our bodies. If we're exhausted, rest. If we don't like the foods that we're eating, eat good foods. Are we staying hydrated? Are we moving the body? All of those things, make sure that we're checking in, because where I get that the dream is important and the mission is important, but the vessel that's doing this mission is equally important, because you can't get anything done if this thing can't get anything done. So just something to be, just a little last closing thoughts there for you, Capricorn, okay? When we're thinking about this. So, all right, I think I'm gonna leave that there. That felt pretty solid, pretty profound. I dig it. You and Aquarius had yours was definitely a little bit deeper, but definitely thinking about our destiny and our purpose and what direction we're going. So, but if you like that, give that a thumbs up and share this, Cap, because it's tough, it can be, when we're thinking about, where we're going in life, what's our purpose. And then sometimes too, if we feel like we're not seeing signals, it's like, oh gosh, where are you at, higher self? Because I've even had moments like that where it's like, we're cooking one day and then one moment it's just like, wait, higher self? Oh crap. But it's good. Honestly, Cap, good stuff is coming here, especially, and you know what too, I was thinking about with this Knight and Queen of Cups. Make sure that we're around people that are supporting our dreams as well, Capricorn, and that's this, I want to make that important too, that it's one thing for someone when I'm thinking about like, when we're following our dreams and, when we're pitching stuff for like, for criticism or feedback. I'm all for constructive criticism if it's actually constructive. Pointing out all the ways that things are wrong and that, that is not, to me, that's not helping anything. But if we're like, okay, I see where your head's at. Have we factored in maybe what about if something this were to happen? Are there any kind of protocols for that? Okay, dope. And then have you maybe thought about adding on this, little aspect? I feel like finding people that are, that keep your feelings in mind as well. That's going to tell you their opinion, but that is going to provide stuff that's going to promote growth. You know what I mean? That they're helping you nurture this idea and provide creative solutions to it. This is Cancer's card and this is Pisces card. So, just something to keep in mind of that as well. But definitely share this, Capricorn. And then which you have no excuse, if you haven't subscribed in all that time that I was talking, subscribe, hit that bell button, you'll get notified when I release videos each week. And then as far as social media goes, I just got an awesome an amazing update. So I've been active on social media for a little while and I just didn't even realize it. I have this app, Insight Timer, and I had when I started the channel, I had put a link for my channel in the description box or profile thing when I started, or just here recently. Well, probably in like the last maybe like a month or so after I started. I don't know, Capricorn. But that all to say, I did, however, get a message from someone who was just like, hey, I just subscribed to your channel, love what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, oh, there's more than other ways than to connect on like Facebook and Twitter and all the rest. So if you're looking for me, I'm meditating daily on Insight Timer, and send me a thanks for meditating with you. One, so I'm killing it on the social media game. Okay, enough about me. And then lastly, Not that you needed a ticket, but anybody who comes up with the Queen of Cups can absolutely come on over to the Chariot and Friends. And in the Chariot and Friends, in all seriousness, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Saturn, wherever, come check it out. We discuss lunar shenanigans. I do videos Monday through Friday there. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here. So I can get you out of here, and that's sick. Because that's you. That's one of your cards, Queen of Disc. All right, Royal. Interesting, I'm with it. And we have the Witch heart here. And you know what? I'm with that, because here's the thing. With the Witch heart, that's very similar to like what I was talking about with the Wheel of Fortune, and as far as like cycles, being aware of what is guiding us all throughout our journey, just doing those check-ins. It's like, am I where I want to be in life? Is this where I saw myself being? Am I loving what I'm doing? And if not, where can I do some changes? Where can I do some adjustments? And then that's when the fun comes in, because look at the Queen of Disc. She's looking out at this field. These are new opportunities here. This is land that is ripe, to fertile, to plant some more Wheel of Fortune energy into, to create your destiny. This is you sitting on your throne, your badass crown there. What do you want to manifest, Capricorn? And then when you start doing that thing, nurture that idea. Pour all your energy into it, because you are creating excellence here. And you're creating what you were meant to, you're doing your calling here. You're staying true to you, Capricorn, all the way to the end. So keep that in mind. Whatever it is that's resonating with you, follow that. Trust your instincts. Trust that intuition of yours, because it's going to lead you. It's going to guide you through both these death card situations here. You are getting ready to really, I feel like, come into yourself. I really feel like with both those death cards, Capricorn, I really feel like that this Ace of Swords, that understanding of who you are, is coming. It's just letting go of what you think you are and allowing yourself to be who you actually are, And if that's not making sense, it will. Believe me, it absolutely will. So I'm with that. So I'm gonna leave it there, Capricorn. So stay safe out there. And when you're done with all this metamorphosis, man, you raise that vibration to Saturn. I think I told Aquarius the same thing. And I will catch you on the next one later.